Hey everyone, it's Amy with Simply Liz with Crafts, and we are going to do a quick project. Sorry, I sat down in my chair and I went sliding backwards. We're going to do a project tonight to put this in. This is just one of those masks that you can put on your face. My niece and I were at Walmart and there was like this huge display of it. She was going for the unicorn one and I happened to see this out the corner of my eye. Matches our daisy punch. So that leads me into our Daisy Lane bundle. This is in our current catalog. It's called Daisy Lane. It comes with this stamp set with all of these images. Plus when you bundle it, it comes with the medium size daisy punch. Great, versatile, wonderful. It's one of the very first things I actually picked out of the catalog. So, and apparently I wasn't alone because it was one of the top selling ones. Last year they had Daisy Delight that was done as a bundle. And it's not a bundle anymore, but you can still purchase the stamp set and the daisy punch separately. Now, if you notice in this Daisy Lane, there is actually a stamp that will coordinate with the larger daisy punch. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to use those two, and we're going to make this project right here after I've squished it by putting everything on top of it earlier. So it's just a real simple 3D box, and our mask slides right down into it. And the DSP we're using is, we're actually going to change it up a little bit because I tried to do the video and I messed up royally. So we were originally using Daffodil Delight, and we're now going to do Daffodil Delight with So Saffron. I think that's a good coordinating color together. Now, if you don't have the DSP, and this is all the DSP that is, obviously there's a whole lot more than this, but this is the DSP, which I like to call the standard DSP in our catalog. This is what coordinates with all of our colors. You have the subtles, the regals, the brights, the neutrals, and then you've got both of the in colors that we have. And it comes with 4 different patterns, I believe it is, but it's all the colors. So no matter what color you wanted, if you bought all of these, which that is 6, if you bought all 6 packs, then you would have color DSP for every single color that Stampin' Up! Sells. So, wonderful. If you don't have that, and you want a forever for the gingham, which is what we're using tonight, this is actually the buffalo check. Now, obviously the squares are larger, but you can definitely use the buffalo check stamp set instead of doing that. And you would just, my suggestion would be to cut a piece of cardstock and then adhere it to the top of the project, just like you did with the DSP. So let's get started. I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to set all that aside for right now. We're going to pull out our Simply Scored, and we're going to take this piece of cardstock, Daffodil Delight, and it is cut at 7.5 by 10 1/4. Now, we're going to score this on the 7.5 side. We're going to score it at 7 1/4. And in all honesty, we're just going to come down here and do it at 1/4 here. When you come here and do it, because that is so little, it will actually be a little bit more difficult. So, using the small end of the score, we're going to go down 1/4. And that is it. Then, we're going to turn it, and we're going to score on the 10 1/4. We're going to score at 1/4. And these are very small measurements, I get that, or very small tabs. And then you're going to do 5, 5 1/4, and then you're going to do 10. And 10, we're down here at the end again, so I am going to flip it, and I'm going to do it at 1/4, just like that. All right. So now we're going to get rid of our Simply Scored. We're going to come in here and we're going to fold all of our score lines. We're going to fold on all of those. And if you notice, I'm just taking my thumb and I'm sliding it up underneath. And the reason I'm doing that is because these are little, so it's a little harder to get to them, to get them folded. All right, and then I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to go over all the score lines again, just to make sure they're good and creased. And one more. All right, so now we are going to cut away and cut up on some lines. So right here on this one, we're going to cut up on the score line, just straight up. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to cut in and then we're going to cut off. So we're just going to make that into a little box right there. And then on this side, we're just going to go up right here on that score line. And these are going to be our little tabs that fold in to just help give the box a finished look. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to fold the box and put it together. So how we're going to do that is we're going to take some liquid adhesive and we're going to very lightly put some glue, maybe. There it goes. I was going to say it doesn't want to come out very well. And when I say a little bit, you really just need this little line. You don't want to put too much on there or it'll get sticky. And then you're going to fold that right there. Let me do that. And then you're going to adhere that right down on it. And then you're just going to have to hold it for just a few minutes. Well, not minutes, but just a couple seconds. And what I do is I just kind of rub across it quite a bit, just to get it to stay. And I'm struggling, apparently. I must have moved it. I might have to put a little bit more glue on it. Nope, there it goes. Okay. Yeah, it's being a little tricky for me. All right. All right. So now we're going to go up to this and we're going to fold in our two tabs. And then we're going to look and see, if you notice, this is where the tab folds to. So we are going to use this part as our back. So we're going to fold this in. And this is what our adhesive is going to go on this time. And I'm going to have to put a little bit more adhesive on the other one, but we'll fix that in a minute. And liquid adhesive and I have a very love-hate relationship. And I'm pretty sure I got a little too much on it. So it's going to get a little sticky there, but that's all right. All right. All right, we're going to come back over here just a little bit and put in just a little bit more glue. On that one and adhere it down. And it's tricky because where the box is coming together on these, it's very, very tiny, so it makes it a lot trickier than normal. And tear and tape, unfortunately, it would work, but it's too big, and so it was, when I did my test one, it was a little crazy on there. But that is our box, and simple, very easy to make. And now we're going to, let's go ahead and put our DSP paper on. And now I have to find there it is. So we're going to have two pieces because the DSP is only 6 by 6. And so of course, if a 6 by 6, this is 6. The height of it it's actually 6 by 4.5 or 4.5 by 6. So we're going to add a little extra here at the top. So let's go ahead and put that on. And I'm going to use, I'll use the liquid adhesive because that's what I got out apparently. I didn't get my other stuff out. Okay. All right, and then we're just going to adhere that right down, leaving a little border on all 3 sides. Just like that, okay? And then, and you can tell I got a little sticky right there. So what I'll have to do is go in later once it dries completely and just do this to take it off. And sorry, the video may get a little dark now. It's dark outside and my light that I have to go to make it brighter is not working very well. So it keeps going out and I've charged it, so who knows. So now we're just going to line this up just like that. And that piece is not going to show because that's exactly where we're going to put our ribbon. So now we're going to use the Denim Ribbon. And if you don't have this, it is fantastic. Fantastic. I love it. It's easy to tie bows with. Well, I say that before I tie the bow, but it's been very good to me anyway. And we just want to make sure that we want to get on the crease that's there where the 2 pieces come together. All right. And I think I might have tied it. Nope, that's good. All right. So now we're just going to cut. And we want our bows to be long enough on this. And if you notice, I probably didn't get, let's actually redo that. I didn't put enough on this side. So let's pull a little bit more because we want this part to be long. So let's do that again. All right, and then we're going to make our loops a little bigger, and then we're going to cut off. Let me find my ribbon scissors. All right, so we're going to cut off right about there. Uh-oh. Got my scissors sticky, I think. Okay, that's good enough. And then, yep, I sure did. Okay, and then we're going to cut this one right about there. There we go. All right, let me just fix this. That will bother me if I don't. There we go. All right, so this is the denim ribbon. It's beautiful. All right, so now let's go ahead and do our stamping. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to heat emboss. If you notice here, and I don't know if you can see it or not, especially since the light went off, but the flower itself is white and shiny. So let's get our Versamark out. And first we're actually going to take this, this is our embossing buddy, and we're just going to rub it right there, which is where we're going to stamp. Okay, and we're going to get our Versamark. And then our big daisy, ink it up in the Versamark, and you're gonna stamp it twice. And I'm doing it a little different only because I'm trying to conserve paper. That's how I am. But really the easiest way to do it is to line your daisy up where a petal is straight up and down so that when you go to punch it makes it a little easier. But I'm gonna turn my paper a little bit when I punch that. Okay, so I've already kind of done a couple steps, so we're only going to stamp it once, but you would want to stamp it twice, and then you're going to want to stick it into the white embossing powder. And it's almost time for me to get a little bit more, although this will last forever. I've had this embossing powder so long that it's almost to where I just need to replace it because it's not embossing as well as it should. So, but emboss it up real good, and then you'll tap it off, and that's usually what I do, and then you will heat emboss it. Now, I'm not going to do that on camera just because the heater is pretty loud. So what I've actually done is I've already heat embossed 2 of them for us. So I'm just going to cut that one off, and we're going to punch out the other 2. All right. And we're going to line it up. I'm sorry, I think I was off camera there for a second. We're going to line it up and punch that one out. And we're going to come over here and punch this one out. All right, and then we're going to do one more thing for stamping. We're going to clean our stamp. And if you do not have a chamois, it is fantastic. It's easy to use. All you do to clean it is water. I actually, the majority of the time, I will stick it in with our regular towels that my husband and I use on a regular basis, and then whenever the washer is done, I just take them right out. I haven't had any problems with it bleeding onto other towels, except for when I did a class where we used all red for a card, and I should have rinsed it out real good before I put it in the washer. That was the only time I've had a problem with it. Other than that, it has been fantastic. Just sending them right in there whenever I'm done with the class, and get them all washed up, because we usually wash towels like every other day, it seems like, and there's only 2 of us here. I'm gonna pull in a piece of paper. We'll see if the light will come back on. No, it won't. And I'm just gonna stamp right over here. I don't need the whole stamp inked up. All I need is the little center, and then we're going to take the 1/2 inch circle punch, and we're going to punch that out just like that. Now we're going to take Night of Navy, and we're going to ink up Smile, and we're going to just stamp it right down here at the bottom. Now, I want to make sure, because I'm going to be sticking the sentiment up underneath, I need to make sure that I have enough here to stick under there. So I'm going to stamp it down on this end, just like that. And then we're going to close up the ink pad. I'm a firm believer in that. And then we're going to literally cut just right there at the top of the Smile. And then we're going to come over here on this side, and we're going to cut right up underneath it. I think I just messed up. All right, that's fine. I think it went okay. I'm left-handed, so I was cutting it from the wrong end. I should have been cutting it from here, but you can't really see through. All right, there we go. Okay, so there we are, and now we're going to put our flowers together, and then I just take and kind of do this with it, just right up the center. We're going to take some glue dots, put it on the back, and I'm going to do 2, well, let's do 3, just to be on the safe side, just because it'll have embossing on it, so I want to make sure that it sticks really well. All right, and then we're going to take it and line it up just like that. Perfect. And then we're going to squeeze it some more. Then we're going to put some glue dots on this. And let's do one more there. And then we're going to stick that in the center. Okay. We're going to bring our box back in. And we're going to get a dimensional. Stick it on the back of our flower. And then we're going to literally take, actually first we're going to take a glue dot really quick and we're going to stick it right up under here. That's going to help hold that down. So now it's definitely not going to move. Okay, and then we're going to take our flower and we're going to literally rest it so it's kind of up at an angle up over that. And now all you see is the loops and then the tails for the bow. And then we're going to take our smile and kind of stick it up in here. And I think that's actually pretty good. Let's just cut off a hair. Okay, and then we're going to just put regular adhesive on the back. After I used the liquid on the other one, I saw my other adhesive sitting over there in the corner. All right, and then we're going to stick it kind of to where you can't see how far back that goes. So just off like that. Okay, now the last little thing we need to do is we need to pull out our ribbon again. And we're going to take and make a little loop right here so that it'll be easy to pull this in and out. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and cut that off, and we'll make it smaller in just a minute if we need to. And then we're going to take some of our white baker's twine, and we're just going to tie a little bow. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and just cut that off. It's baker's twine. It's not expensive, and there's a ton on there. So although I do go through a lot of the white baker's twine, a ton of it, especially for craft fairs, because it makes cute little small bows that are, you know, just kind of sprucing up a project. So all right, and then I'm going to make these pretty small just so that it's not showing, and then we're going to cut off that and cut off that part there. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to slide this right down into our box, and then we're going to tuck our white twine right down inside. Okay, and then we're just going to take these and spread them apart just a little bit, just like that, and then we're going to cut them off just a little bit to make it look a little bit shorter. And I am the kind of person that always likes for my front to be just a little shorter than the back. It gives it the dimension it needs, but it also allows you to kind of see that back. So that is our project. Easy, very simple, not a lot to it at all. The worst part is definitely getting the box to stay together. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks so much. Bye, everyone.